Okay, so if you'll go ahead and tell us who you are and a little bit about your business and your background.
My name's Davina Ratcliffe, and I am from London. Originally, I've been living here in Guatemala, in Santa Cruz, for the last 16 years, and I came here on a whim. And I arrived at the lake, and within 24 hours of ever having been on the lake, I saw this bit of property for sale and decided to buy it. I'd never had a hotel, restaurant, dive school, didn't speak much Spanish, so it was not planned. And here I am 16 years later.
So it would have been around 1996 or 97?
End of 95. Actually.
That you landed here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what had you done previous to that?
I'd been a researcher for a corporate investigation firm in London, and then had enough of that, and in '94 knew I wanted to come to Latin America to learn Spanish, and flew into Guatemala actually back in '94, and then travelled south, and then ended up here randomly.
And so somewhat spontaneously, you purchased the land, and then what? Was the land already a hotel? Was it a restaurant? What was it?
There were 4 rooms,
okay.
And they'd been rented out to someone who was using them as a hotel. He lived in one of them, so it was 3 rooms and a restaurant. But it was in a little place in the middle of nowhere. There was no electricity, no hot water, and so it's changed somewhat sort of organically.
I'd say quite a bit. And what? How many people did you have coming? How did people find out about you? Was it word of mouth? Was it a guidebook? Was it?
We sort of put up some posters around about the place. Now things publicity has got somewhat is a bit more mature, I suppose.
Sure.
Whereas then it was just putting up some posters and word of mouth, and people were seeing people walking down the street and saying, "Hey, listen, do you want a place to stay? We've got a place here. It's very new. Come." And so then people came. And
yet this is not exactly across the street or just down the street. I mean, to get here, you've got these boats that, are an adventure unto themselves.
Yeah.
There's no, I guess there's a footpath, but there's no, this is not an easy access place.
No, it's not. No, it's not. There was one time when, because I used to have to go and buy the food in Pana, and I had one of those granny sort of wheelie bags or whatever it was, and there was this English guy walking along with a bag, and he had to be English because he had this bag. And so I said, "Oh, you're looking for somewhere to stay?" He said, "Well, funny enough, yes I am." I said, "Well, come with me and just get people on the boat and just come on over." So
And then once they get here, they fall in love with the relative remoteness and
well, back
beauty.
then it was a lot more remote.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like now, it's a lot more connected. I mean, like the internet.
Right.
How more connected can you get?
Well, what percentage of your business would you say does come from the internet, from internet bookings or at least inquiries?
Quite a lot, actually. I mean, it used not to be. I remember the first time we ever got a faxed reservation. It was very exciting. We thought, oh, we ought to roll out the red carpet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sort of felt like it was quite sort of Fawlty Towers moment of, oh, what do we do now? These people are booked. Oh my goodness me.
Basil, yeah.
Exactly.
So are you Basil or is your husband Basil?
Well, I don't know. He definitely got Manuel's though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Besides the internet, what else? I mean, over time, again, you didn't have this experience, no hospitality management, no hotel management experience. You just jumped in, and then life just sort of flowed, or how did it evolve? How did the concept of Iguana Perdida evolve?
Well, I suppose, busy back then was 4 people. So, do you know what I mean? And it was very much like, this is my sitting room, this is my dining room,
okay.
Let's all just eat together. I started the place with an ex-boyfriend, and it was before children and things like that, and so therefore life's very different now with children. But, it was just, I'd done quite a lot of travelling, and it's quite nice to come to a place where you feel trusted.
Okay.
Because travelling can be quite tiring.
Yep.
And so to come to a place where you used to mark down all your own drinks, it was just very much a tab service. Do you know what I mean? Like it was just, here, come and stay, and pay and then buy and have a nice time, sort of type thing. And people used to stay for weeks, months. Things have definitely changed in that. And then, oh, no, I've only got sort of 2 days here or whatever it is. So.
And is there a really slow season where you and your husband, and I understand you now have 2 children as well that are 8 and 10 or something like that?
Yeah.
Is there a time when you can actually leave here for like 3-4 weeks at a time? Or?
Yeah, well, now the kids are at school, so we've got sort of Christmas or summer holidays, which are the same we're in the States, and so June, July, August we generally go, and it can be quite busy. Our slower time here is sort of September, October, but we like to be here because the kids are now in school.
Okay.
Whereas it's quite rainy, and that's when the hurricanes happen.
What's the biggest challenge of being in a relatively, it's still, even with the internet and even with the, you're only 20 or so minutes from Penachel, but you are in what I would call a remote location. What's the biggest challenge as a family and as a business owner?
Ooh, the environment, mudslides, hurricanes. It's quite major things, and you can see the level of the lake. It's come up 17 feet in 2 years.
Wow.
So if that carries on, in 2 years' time, we'll be underwater here.
In fact, when I was here last, it was 2 years ago, it was Tropical Storm Agatha. We were in Shayla, and then I believe we ended up here, and I think it was something like 20 inches in about 3 days, and one of the villages around here lost quite a few people through a mudslide.
Yeah. No, it is. It's the lows are very low here, and the highs are very high.
But most of the time, I would assume it's a high.
Yes. I mean, definitely the highs outweigh the lows. That's for sure.
Right.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
Right. Yeah.
Because again, it's you don't. If we wanted to make lots of money, I wouldn't be here. Do you know what I mean? Like how many in Quetzales, which is fine, but it's just not everything's done for financial reasons.
And you would consider this therefore a lifestyle choice in terms of an entrepreneurial venture. It's a means to leading sort of a life that
yes, I mean,
enjoy.
Meeting people from all around the world. Do you know what I mean? Like, how many nationalities do we have here?
Right.
It's the world comes to my door.
Yeah.
Yes, I love going off traveling and things like that, but it's also very much that, and people are generally in a good mood, they're on holiday, and that just to have a memorable time in what I consider a memorable place and be able to be a part of that is fun.
Do you see any major changes on the horizon or innovations, or are you relatively satisfied with what you have now, or plans?
Plans.
I mean, are you planning, or does it just sort of happen organically?
It happens organically.
Okay.
The thing about plans is that plans, you never stick to your plans anyway.
Right.
So you waste a lot of time in planning.
True.
So why don't you put that effort into something better? I don't know. I mean, as I said, the lake is a powerful one. I mean, that's a fight we're never going to win.
And if that comes up another 17 feet, then essentially
Plan B.
Plan B, which is up the hill, right?
But then also, there is an archaeological site underwater,
Okay.
which is all pretty new. And what we're really hoping is that because we've got a dive school, that we might be able to help go diving on it, which would be very exciting. Because from an archaeological point of view, it's very, very, very interesting. And so that's a huge untapped market, and that's one thing we're hoping to.
Is it a Mayan or related? Okay.
Yeah, it's Mayan, and it's over the other side, and it's pre-classic. It's from about 800 AD, 800 BC.
Wow.
And they reckon that it probably flooded in about 150 AD, which is when one of the volcanoes erupted, and then stopped off the river.
Okay.
So there wasn't any escape for the water, any natural escape for the water.
Wow. And I guess the last major question I have is, when I look at the challenges of running a place like this, where you do have an ongoing need for food and people and other kinds of things, we talk in terms of business school of supply chains, and it seemed to me that you can only grow so much stuff here. You have to bring a lot of stuff probably from Penachel.
Yeah, everything. I mean, because the box of tomatoes that I buy from the market, if I have a couple of plants here, that's not going to do one salad. Do you know what I mean? So yes.
Yeah.
And then as we said in hard times, it's a pooling of resources. That, I mean, during Agatha or whatever, that's one thing. Is okay, fine. We've just stocked up. We've got enough petrol. We've got enough gas, propane. We've got enough food. We're set. Do you know what I mean? Like for 3 or 4 or 5 days or whatever it is. Because also we're quite a sort of community centre here. So therefore, if anyone is around here, they'll probably come here because it's scary and you want to be with other people.
Right.
So when that sort of thing happens, it's either my house or here that's pretty full.
Right.
But, yeah.
People pitch in. Well, great. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.